Guys, Ben Habib and Yasmin are going to be having a debate on illegal immigration. And of course, Ben Habib's going to come with the common sense argument of smart border policies. He's going to propose that the UK adopts Belgium's border policy by using drones and putting people there that are capable and will actually take action to ensure that the boats are sent back to France. And Yasmin's going to come with the woke perspective, and she's basically going to be saying that no, we just need to be kind and take more people in, even though English Anglo-Saxons are going to be a minority in their own country in the next couple of decades. UK still need to be more sympathetic and bring more people in, and that's absolutely crazy. And you know, a lot of people are standing up against this. There's a lot of people in Europe and even in America, so they see this as an invasion. And to be fair, it is an invasion. Let's just be honest. You know, all of this happening all at once, and people are voting against this. You know, so this is that elitist group just, you know, carrying out their globalist policies. But anyway, guys, let's get straight into the debate with Ben Habib and Yasmin.
Migration, both illegal and legal migration, is the salient issue of the day. That is going to determine, how you address those two issues is going to determine who wins the next election, because they have implications for our constitution, for our culture, and huge implications, obviously, for our security and our economy. And getting the answers right and having holistic, joined up, coherent policies which address both illegal migration and mass migration on a legal basis is going to be the determinant, as I say, at the next election. As far as illegal migration is concerned, this is perhaps the best optical evidence of a failing nation state, a state that simply can't enforce its borders. It wishes to go abroad and have interventions in foreign countries and make the case for intervening in Ukraine and fighting Putin and so on and challenging Iran and etc., but incapable of enforcing its own borders. The basic principle of security for the United Kingdom has been set aside, and as I say, it's the most optically sort of alarming vision of a failing state. We have to stop illegal migration into this country. It has to be stopped for the sake of those trying to come here, but most of all for civil society in the United Kingdom. And the only way to do it, and people find this unpalatable, but the only way to do it is to enforce our borders. Borders are not a theoretical line that define the United Kingdom. They are an absolute must from a constitutional perspective. And the only way ultimately you can enforce your borders is physically. So we must do what the Belgians did, which is develop a capable body of people with all the right equipment, with the right boats, drones, intervening devices and so on, to stop the boats in the channel and make sure they go back to France. There is no antidote to physical border enforcement. It is the only thing that will work.
Yasmin.
Oh, maybe we should shoot them. Maybe we can have a new hunting sport, Ben. You have a background, a migration. Let me remind the people listening.
Yeah.
You're as brown as I am. Though I know
quite
you're
as brown as me.
Yours is artificial.
Well,
so never forget who you are. Secondly, you've had your day. I'm speaking now.
What's my ethnicity got to do with protecting the civil society?
Because that is your heritage. And if there had been
so
people...
you're saying I should let foreigners into this country because I'm...
Stop.
No, but it's a fundamentally flawed principle on which you're arguing.
You can come back when she's made a point.
Can you be polite?
I was being polite.
No, you're not. No, be polite and let me speak. We never hear, it's so convenient, right, to blame those people on boats whom we never see, we never hear. They're not on these programs. Their stories are never told. One thing I do agree with Ben, sort of, will you stop behaving like a hooligan and let me speak?
They're coming from France.
We could try and understand how our overseas interventions have resulted in some of this. A lot, I think somebody told me, a migrant group told me, 68% of the boats are coming from Libya, set off from Libya. Who destroyed the state of Libya, tell me,
Gaddafi.
and made it into a complete basket case? Who did it?
Gaddafi.
No. Under him, like him or not, the state functioned. He did not have boats coming into Europe from there. So we go in, like we did with Afghanistan, like we go into Iraq.
There's not a single British soldier in Libya.
No, the intervention, when they got rid of Gaddafi, nobody planned anything. Cameron was in charge then. They did not think.
And the Libyans
what you then do is you leave these failed states. Afghanistan is another one. turned away. So don't do those interventions if you don't want consequences. And secondly, at least listen to some of the people on the boat. Not all of them are illegal criminals who are coming here to destroy our borders. I've talked to when Syria was in a bad way, I talked to 3 Syrian mothers who had tiny babies, and I said to them, why did you do this? You know, you knew you could die, the babies would die. And they said, we have no choice. So at least some of them...
They did have a choice. They could have stayed in France.
Well, they had family here.
2 points. Number 1, I'm fed up when people say, you're an immigrant yourself, so you shouldn't care about illegal immigration, because if people were thinking like that when you were coming in, you wouldn't be here. That's the whole point of caring about the United Kingdom. If you really truly care about the UK, then there's no way you can just be okay with illegal immigration. You'd never let strangers into your house on any occasion. So how come when they're coming into your country, or the country you claim to love, all of a sudden it's absolutely fine, don't worry, I'm an immigrant, so many people like me should come in? No, that's not how it works, you know. There's borders for a reason, and there's a legal process that everyone needs to adhere to before they go into the country that they want to go to. Number 1. Number 2, I think people get tired with this. Britain did this, America did this, so where the people going to go, this and that and this? They just, you know, they're helpless people. It's Libya, you're talking about Libya right now, that's enslaving sub-Saharan Africans. These are the guys that you're fighting for. Sub-Saharan Africans are enslaved in Libya as we speak. And she's sitting here saying, Libyans, look what happened there. They're not no saints. Look at what they're doing. And on top of that, Saudi don't take none of them in. So, yeah.
That's the thing. So we need actually, to use Ben's very polished words, joined up thinking. We need to know where these illegal migration, and like with Albanians, I had no problems. That once we knew they were using the system, I have no problems with sending back the Albanians, because there's no reason for them to come here. But, you know, for God's sake, have some compassion for those people who have nowhere to go.
But what about the people who do go through the system and come here legally? The fact that this year it's going to be somewhere probably between 40 and 50,000 people coming over the channel on these boats, and the more that are successful in coming here, the more that are successful in getting asylum, that's going to encourage even more to come.
I think the bigger problem, the bigger number, is the legal migration, which under Rishi Sunak really did.
You're right.
Honestly. And I think there was a kind of, this is my view, that there was a kind of ethnic relationship going on, because I have no problem.
What do you mean by that?
So he allowed a huge number of Indians to come in. And I have no problem with that.
Legally or illegally?
Legally. The deals were done, and we have never spoken about that. I welcome them, actually. But actually, we never talk about the millions that Rishi Sunak brought in.
But he would say they came because the economy needed them, because the companies, they was operating under this point system. So it's all perfectly legal what was happening.
Yeah, but the legal, it's not.
The companies
most people,
couldn't get the domestic workforce.
When people talk about immigration, they're talking about the whole lot. They also mean me. You should see the hate mail I get. The hate mail I get, because I'm a foreigner still, 50 years on, having paid my taxes and still working, you'll be pleased to know, at the age of 75.
Well, you don't look a day over 60.
I'm not sure that landed how you intended it to.
Or perhaps it did.
But we don't have grown-up conversations about immigration.
Right, let's hear from Rosie.
Yeah, look, 20,000 people is too high, and both Ben and Yasmin are right in the sense that we do need to address the root cause here, and that is the gangs that are putting people on these boats. And Ben spoke about what Belgium are doing, but we have passed a Borders Bill through Parliament, which gives our police counter-terrorism powers to be able to go after.
But the police,
how's that going?
How's that going? And the police,
we're still the system that we inherited from
border
you,
security,
an open border system.
If I can just address that for a second, Border Security Command is an entirely domestic-based set of bodies. And the traffickers are based in Europe. There's no mechanism by which Starmer's approach to busting the gangs can be delivered. It's a complete deflection from the reality. The only way to stop people coming is to stop them coming. Sorry.
How far would you go? Would you kill them?
I would enforce our borders.
Would you kill them? Would you shoot them?
Yasmin,
Would you?
Yasmin, listen. you have to have some a grown-up approach to this. They're in France. They're safe. Their security is assured. They decide to get in flimsy dinghies and attempt this 25-mile journey. And by the way, they're encouraged repeatedly to do it by the success of their mission. The repeated success encourages more to come, which is the point Ian was making earlier. If they know that they're going to be met by British security at the edge of our territorial waters, which, by the way, we have an entire right to do under international law, and they will be prohibited from coming into British waters, they will learn to go back to France.
Okay, Rosie, you wanted to finish?
Yes, but with immigration, you're right. People often, they talk about immigration as a whole package, and it's right that we should have immigration that is fair, that when people come to this country, that they integrate properly, that they feel as though they can be a part of our culture. That's when we see immigration work best, and that isn't what we've had under the Conservatives in the system that we've inherited. But I don't want to see 20,000 people making that dangerous journey across the Channel, and I don't want to see them on.
How can you defend Labour policy when under your government the numbers have gone up by 40%?
Because we know that it's going to take time. It's going to take time to address these issues. The counter-terrorism powers have only just come into force. So
I don't think you should use counter-terrorism powers. Some of these people are innocent people who have no choice.
But
some of them are not. But you can't say these mums are terrorists.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be making the dangerous journey.
They don't have a choice.
No one should have to make that journey across the Channel. No one should have to get into a dinghy and risk their lives, and it is absolutely right that there is counter-terrorism powers. So
everyone crossing the Channel from France to the United Kingdom is unlawfully here. None of them are here legally.
That's not true.
They have entered the country illegally. They have entered the country illegally.
The claims should be processed.
Right, well,
But I hope you never get power, Ben. I hope you never, in your lifetime, being the kind of unsympathetic, ungenerous soul that you are, I hope you never get power. I've never been this angry on this show.
Yasmin.
The way you talk about human beings is atrocious.
The nation-state of the United Kingdom itself faces an existential threat as a result of the policies being pursued by government. The government
we are doing fine. They said that when we came. Shall I tell you, when Ugandan nations came, this was the same language used. And do you know how many Americans have come into our country in the last 6 months? Do you know how many Americans have entered our country and are living here and working here?
No, tell me.
Go check the figures. Go check the figures.
Well, how many?
Huge numbers.
Well, how many? But you're asking him how many. No, you've got to tell me how many.
No, I'm just saying there's a vast influx like there was. I wrote a book a few years ago called Who Do We Think We Are? And in that year, and I can't remember, it was about 9 years ago, there were more American migrants in this country than there were Jamaicans. Nobody spoke about them.
Why is ethnicity...
They come from a country where they don't need to leave.
But why does ethnicity loom so large in your mind, Yasmin?
Sorry?
Under Trump, you say they don't...
Now they're fleeing Trump. Yes, they're fleeing Trump.
Okay.
Oh, man. You got to give it to Yasmin, you know. She comes with it and she doesn't come with no facts, but she comes with entertainment and she comes with a lot of drama. So yeah, but listen, every country needs to have smart border policies. You know, we know this and we understand that. It's a huge topic in not even just the UK, but Europe, even in America, globally. Everyone's saying what's going on in these nations. Why are they just taking an influx of immigrants all of a sudden? Like, you can just see it's a globalist policy. You know, this is the elite at the top making this happen. It's clear because no one in their right mind would just allow more and more and more to come in, and it's absolutely changing. You know, the country is changing towns, it's changing cities, and they just carry on allowing it to happen. No reasonable mind would think like that. So yeah, but listen, smart border policies, you know, Ben Habib is absolutely correct. He's smart, intelligent. I like how he thinks. And I wish him luck with his political party, Advance UK, something like that. You know, Ben Habib's a smart guy, man. So yeah, but anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.